Good morning. Welcome back to another episode of Follow Your Dreams with Coach and Low. It's your boy Low. Coach, what's going on, brother?
Man, what's going on, baby? How are you?
I'm doing well, man. I'm doing well. Had 10 days off of work. I was able to rest. I was able to reboot. Did a lot of self-education, developing in all these books, man. Me and you were kind of reading some of the same books, The Greatest Salesman in the World by O.G. Mandino. Awesome, phenomenal book, man. Very powerful. Has some gems in there. We won't get too much into details with that, but had a good time out in Kentucky, and now being back and acclimated here in the Brevard County here back in Florida. Weather's good, and just reconnected with some of these organizations that I'm working with. So I'm excited for what's to come. Just got an invite to go out to Atlanta, Georgia, to do a speech out there at a church. So we're planning on doing that June 16th. So I'm excited to be in the Atlanta, Georgia area. What's going on with you, brother?
Hey, man, just excited, man. Just like every day I wake up, man, life brings new challenges, and every day I feel like it's a new opportunity for me to go out there and make it happen for my family. Went to my first Toastmasters meeting, Lo. I know you've been encouraging me to go ahead and do that. From end of April to August, man, is the time where I really get to work on my craft, work on my business, build up some clients, network some new people since I coached throughout the school year. So I'm just real excited, man. I got some things in place, some people I met, looking to connect with, and real excited about that, man. So the first Toastmasters, for me, it's I think I might have to go check out a couple of more just to get a feel for what I'm looking for and what I need. But I text you, man. I feel like I should have won the table topic, man. I crushed it, man. I crushed the table topic, and they gave it to this other guy. And I don't know if I had the right attitude or what, but I felt like I should have won. Like once they said they was giving out awards, it was game on.
Right.
Because that's just how I am, man. And
right, yeah. And we talked about that. Yeah, we talked about that competitiveness and going after it, man. But one of the things I take away from it all the time is getting the opportunity to perfect my craft. And every time I got a chance to speak and do that, that's awesome, man. So, but that's what we got to do to develop our communication skills. And I'm proud of you, man, going. So that's exciting, man. I want you to dive into today's show. I want to get in because we have some awesome guests on the call, and I want you to just dive in, give an intro, and let's today's show is going to be about entrepreneurship, business, faith. I mean, we're going to hit them with everything, Coach. So go ahead and do the honors, my brother.
Wow, really excited about this show, Lo. Another couple of Hampton alums, man. I just love having Hampton alums on the show. These two young ladies, 18, 19 years old when we met. One from D.C., one from Atlanta, Georgia. And the one, Angel from D.C., just high energy, even in college. That was coming from Texas, meeting people from different regions, especially females. Like, they go hard, and they rough, and they tough, and they tell you like it is. And Angel was
right.
that person. And just real excited, man, just proud to see the growth the last 10 years, man. I can't believe it's 10 years. 10 years coming up will be next year. And so these two young ladies, co-founders of Wealthylife. And, the website is getwealthylife.com. Being an educator, man, I just love the idea of gamification and what they've been able to do with their company. And it's what we've been talking about all season on our podcast with financial literacy and getting to the youth as early as possible. And with cell phones now, what better way than to create an app that kids can put on their iPads and tablets and phones where they can learn about financial terms. I have the game, guys. If you don't have the game, it's called Credit Stacker. I have the game. I'm actually pretty good at the game. I told Angel a couple of weeks ago I need her to put some more levels on there because I crushed all those levels. Feel like
right.
I crushed all those. So I need some more. I need another challenge, Angel. But definitely want to bring them on the show. Angel, Courtney, you out there? Please say hello to our listeners. And Angel, you introduce yourself first, and then Courtney, you jump right in.
Well, hello. Thanks for having me. Definitely honored to be here today with my fellow Hamptonian, especially when he opens up talking about my man Og Mandino and The Greatest Salesman in the World, which happens to be one of my favorite books and one of the first books that I read as a child when everybody else was reading Dr. Seuss. And so I definitely highly encourage everyone to read The Greatest Salesman in the World. It's a great combination of faith and business and how to optimize both for your own self-worth.
Yes, and I'm Courtney. Thank you for having me. I am from Atlanta, Georgia, and I am the co-founder of Wealthylife. So I'm excited to be on the podcast.
Wow, thanks, ladies. And Angel already left out. She is a published author, and we're going to get to that later on. Real excited about that. As soon as it dropped, I grabbed my copy, The History of the Black Dollar. I already have my copy, so we'll talk about that during the show as well. So, again, ladies, thank you for coming on the show. Angel, just walk us through the process of you and Courtney started, where the idea came from. Was it at Hampton or was it after you guys graduated? When did the planning process start? And, going to that, please.
Yeah, sure. I actually don't get to talk about that too often. It was a few different pieces. So, I did grow up in a life insurance sales family, and it always sort of boggled my mind why people couldn't manage their money. And then senior year of college, I actually won Goldman Sachs Portfolio Challenge, where I came up with an algorithm for the stock market, and we did positive 2%, and the market did negative 2%. And I asked myself, how would anybody ever figure this out? And I felt like in 2009 that there needed to be some type of game that would allow people to live out their financial life. However, gamification didn't exist until 2012. Education technology kind of was just Blackboard at the time, and nobody cared about financial literacy until 2014 after they changed the Common Core standard. So I was way ahead of my time trying to put together a financial literacy education technology game. It was like, what are you talking about? I sounded crazy. So moving forward, I became a researcher for Prudential, was able to leverage their resources to conduct over 70 financial behavioral studies. And then I was faced with the opportunity to leave the company and start my own company. Upon that time, I was asked by the head of the program I had just got accepted into at the Stanford Innovation Center, was Startup Weekend Next, and they asked me who would be my co-founder. And they sat there and actually talked to me for about 2 or 3 hours, going through different people that I knew, asking me, different qualifications to look for in terms of intelligence and trust and all of these other different things. And the more and more, and they always say, don't allow your best friend to be your co-founder. But when I really gave it some serious thought, I couldn't think of anybody else that would be better than Courtney, somebody that I could leave $1 million with, leave the country, come back, and it's still $1 million, if not even more, because Courtney probably would have flipped it while I was gone. So so it was a no-brainer for me to ask her to be my co-founder, and she immediately said yes, and it's been writing history ever since.
Wow. That's crazy. I remember y'all used to hang with each other at Hampton. That's crazy. Hey, Courtney, how did you feel when you got that phone call?
I was actually very surprised. And when Angel asked me to be her co-founder, I was ecstatic. And for those, 2 seconds between me saying yes, I definitely did give it some thought. And I'm like, you know what? We worked well together in college. I knew Angel's intellect and the type of person she was and how smart she was, and I trusted her judgment. And just based on our relationship in the past that we've had, I knew that I could trust her as a co-founder and we can go forward together. And she proved me right. Angel hasn't changed. She's still the same young girl I met in college, and she's still very intelligent and very bright. And it seems like now that we've gotten older, she's just grown and spread her wings even more.
Wow. Courtney, tell us a little bit about the actual game, and how did it? Which one y'all came up with that concept? I played the game, and it's almost like a version of Bejeweled with the matching, and then the questions pop up. Where did that idea of kind of that concept of the game come up with kind of almost like vocabulary words almost, and learning those financial terms.
Right. Well, basically, as Angel said, she has a background in insurance, and she knew that she wanted to target a certain group of people to build up their financial literacy. And especially with gaming being hot and just coming out, we knew that we needed to teach people in a way that they would grasp the concept and have fun in learning it. So just the old way didn't work as good as you would expect it to. So we thought that we would mix it up and come up with gaming, kind of like, tricking people into learning. And I remember as Angel and I were sitting down kind of going through the lesson plan and the levels and how we wanted the game to be set up, we wanted it to be something easy for all grade levels to pick up on and learn. And then we just kind of took it from there. So, Angel, is there something else you would like to add?
No, you pretty much covered it. I mean, we went through several different iterations of the game. The original version actually kind of looked like Tetris, and then when we tested it, that didn't work. And the developers that we were working with really encouraged us to look at Candy Crush and Bejeweled, and once we did that and kind of made that transition, it really took off from there, and it was just kind of a matter of tweaking it for engagement, colors, the questions that come up in it and the style of it. And to your point, Prince, we do have a new version coming out at the end of the month, Credit Stacker Saga, with more levels and more questions. So get ready to be challenged. We're extremely excited about that. It's going to have leaderboards in it as well, so you and Lo can compete against each other for the highest score. And rewards and different things like that will be integrated into it. So definitely look out for the new version of Credit Stacker Saga on Google Play and iOS.
Well, I know if we're going to go against one another, I'm going to have to take over on that, Coach. So we're going to be competitive.
I already know.
Right on.
Hey, real quick, Lo, before you jump in, I know Courtney said Prince and Angel said Prince. For our listeners, that is me, Coach. That was my name in college. My mom, that's my nickname. I was the only child growing up, so I was the Prince of the house. And so it stuck with me in college, guys. So, yes, I know it sounds corny, but yes, my name is Prince. Lo, I know Lo going.
I was about to. Hey, hey, I'm gonna have to get that color purple for you, big dog. Hey, ladies, definitely I wanted to just say, before I go in, just thanks for taking the time and just sharing your success with us. I wanted to talk about, before we dive in, I guess, to the real gritty part. I mean, Angel, I was reading, your article the other day, and we can share that with the audience if you haven't checked it out. Forbes magazine did an interview with you, and they basically called you like, the next Steve Jobs. Steve Jobs revolutionized the computer industry, and obviously you two ladies are trying to, break this, I guess I would call it the curse of not only just the in Black or Hispanic, Latino, any minority families who struggle with financial literacy, but I guess, kind of talk about how exciting that was. I remember, feeling like I was famous when I was 18 years old, and I got the phone call from Bill Cosby, and then the Good Morning America Today Show started calling me, and all these different, Oprah's people were calling to get us on the show, how exciting that was. And you mentioned something about, getting a publicist and things like that. Kind of share with the audience, how that experience was like when you had, I feel like, you've had the success, you're going at it, but was this your breakthrough? Is this where you feel like right now you're about to take over and turn this thing into a multi-billion-dollar corporation? Do you feel like right now you have embraced the moment that you've been waiting for this entire time?
Yeah, definitely. And since this is a faith-based show, I'll actually tell the truth. I tend to cover it up with a bunch of other things, but it's really honestly just God. I was given a vision from God, and Courtney knows this very well. I was given a vision from God when I was a child as to what to do, and that a lot of people ask me, how do I know what to do at such a young age? I literally received a vision from God, and He guides me along the way and gives me different points and signs and things like that along the way. So earlier this year, He told me that it was coming this year. I was actually just having this conversation with my mother recently, but I don't know why I'm surprised, but I'm just surprised that it happened so fast, because He just told me like a month ago that it was coming. I expected it to come at the end of the year, and so for it to be happening, it's kind of like a conversation of my relationship with God. It's very weird to explain, almost in a sense, to know that something is coming and then to have it actually show up. It's like, whoa, like God really loves me and loves everyone, and just the care that He has for humanity around finance and financial empowerment, as well as technology. God actually cares about who controls the internet, because the internet is the kind of means of communication, and if the control of the internet falls into the wrong hands, we could possibly be enslaved again, and we don't want that to happen. And so being able to understand how the future needs to operate, and then being given the privilege of helping to lead that future is a feeling that I just can't even explain.
And, with what Angel was saying, she has shared with me her vision. And even back then in college, I always knew there was something about Angel. She had this intuition about her. And when I first met her, there was some stuff Angel would say to me, and I didn't believe her. I just, this girl is lying. She's exaggerating. And as I began to get to learn Angel and know more about her and live out some of these experiences with her, I'm like, wow, this girl is onto something. Her life, Angel has been through so much, and so many amazing things has happened to her that sometimes when she tells people, they just literally don't believe it because it sounds unreal. And I wouldn't believe it myself if I didn't know her. And right now, everything is being put in the forefront, and everyone can see it. She's just not talking the talk. It's you can see the proof in the pudding, and that's one reason why I trust her. I know that she's being led by God, and I trust that, and I let Angel go, because sometimes we come to decisions, and I'm just like, I don't know, Angel, and she was like, but Courtney, I just got a feeling. I just know it, my gut. And when she says that, I'm like, okay, we're going to be okay then. Let's go. And with this whole Forbes article, it's just amazing because people have started to reach out to us. We're starting to get investors and people to start looking our way and take us more seriously. Even though we've been in so many other articles and gotten so many other accolades, it seems like this one really has people's heads turning and taking notice. So we're very appreciative of this opportunity.
Wow. So we talked about your vision, and you talk about our faith in God. I'm thinking about, I'm going through my head. I'm like, man, how did I meet you guys, and how did our relationships, we stayed in contact. And I look back, it's weird to me because I was an education major. You guys were in MBA, accounting, marketing, and the whole group was you, DeRay, another business associate of ours, Gene. Then you got Marquis and Markel with the Bavanti. I mean, all you guys. I'm trying to figure out how did that relationship form, and all I could think about is, everything happens for a reason. I think God puts people in our lives for us to connect and support each other, and I think that's what I'm most appreciative of in Hampton, and and just watching you young ladies just grow and like dominate. Like I feel like I know superstars right now, and I feel like I don't have to be a groupie or nothing like on Facebook, because I'm like, man, I knew them when they was like 18, 19 years old. So That's how I feel about it, man. So just super proud of you and listening to you tell your story, especially about your faith and your vision. And Courtney, you just said something, and I was just reading this. It's Start With Why by Simon Sinek, and he talked about the companies that last long. They start with their why, and that's why Apple and Southwest Airlines, he talks about those two companies. He talks about they built their companies started with their why. So, to me, your why is, you want to help educate people on their finances. You didn't come out with the game first or say, hey, I want to come out with a game. What we going to make the game about? You started off with your why. And you had, you wanted to close the gap in the black community. You wanted to help the minorities. So that's your why. And I want our listeners to know that it's very important. If we look back, when you have these ideas, always start with your why, because that's going to be what drives you. Okay. And Angel, let me start with you. Expand upon your why. Expand upon some of the things you just said and your WHY for our listeners to really understand what that means, because I think a lot of us, even some people who want to venture out, they really don't have a why. They just, I want to be a business owner because it's hot right now, or I just want to be called an entrepreneur, wannabe entrepreneur. So explain that the thought process of why and what keeps you motivated every day you wake up, Angel.
Definitely, my why is actually, what I live for. I could really honestly care less about the money. The money gets me more wise. So it's just a means to an end. When my last year Prudential, like the article said, I made them $6 billion, and they gave me a full ride to Wharton. Put me on a CEO track, $30,000, double promotion, and I went to Africa. And while I was in Africa on a mission trip with my church, I met a little boy. And this little boy only had one piece of clothing, and it was a Wharton T-shirt. Now, I'm all the way in the bush of Salawa, Kenya, and this little boy's only piece of clothing is a Wharton T-shirt when I just got a full ride to Wharton 2 weeks before that. Tell me that wasn't God. So as I'm looking at this little boy, I realized that no matter how smart, he was like 3 years old, no matter how smart he became, he would never probably be able to actually even leave Kenya, let alone go to Wharton. And why is this his fault? Just because he's born in that location? Like, that's crazy. And so I left and I quit my job when I returned back to America to start this company to provide equal access to financial literacy all across the world and reduce poverty. Why do we have 3 billion people in poverty and it's people spending thousands of dollars on tithes? Like, that just does not make sense to me. And so I just feel as though there needs to be there needs to be more equality across the world to kind of, borrow from Martin Luther King, injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere. And that's really how I feel. It's like, regardless of how great we might be living in America, if the next man just one continent over can't even eat and his bones are showing, what kind of life are you really living? How can you even put that food to your fork to your mouth and be happy, knowing that somebody else is starving and you throwing food away? So it really, I was already a very kind of mindful, thoughtful person, but that whole experience just really shook me even more because it was right in my face, and I couldn't deny that. When I went back to work, I couldn't even sit still. I kept getting like 4 cups of coffee an hour, and I just didn't feel right. And I had to ask myself, who was I? Like, who am I really? To just walk away from this and act like I ain't just see all that and can't. So I felt like I didn't have a choice but to do this.
Good
well,
stuff.
For me,
Courtney,
my why.
Okay. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Courtney. Go ahead.
My why is basically I grew up. My mom was a principal. My grandma was a principal. My granddad. I grew up with a family of educators, and education was always very important to me. I knew I didn't want to grow up to be an educator in that sense, as far as becoming a teacher or a principal. I was more into the numbers and finance. You know, managing money has always amazed me since I was young. So that's why I graduated high school and wanted to be an accountant. I later found out I didn't want to go that route, but I did still want to do finance, numbers, something having to do with business. So, you know, now my 9 to 5, I'm a contract negotiator. And when Angel first came to me about the business, I just really supported her. It was right in tune with what I wanted, you know, education and finance, putting those two things together was just brilliant. And it's very important as an entrepreneur to have a why. Because if you just go out here chasing money, I promise you, when you face different challenges, you'll give up. Because money is not a motivator as everyone thinks it is. You have to figure out, what is it about money? What is it that you want? What is that money going to get you? Because that's what you're chasing after. Money, just the paper, means nothing. It's what that money will get you. So when you just break that down and constantly ask yourself why until you can't answer why anymore, then you've gotten there. And when it comes to my why and I break it down, it's having financial freedom. It's having that financial freedom of my time with my family. I don't want to be pulled away from my family or pulled away from just leisure time, vacations, just enjoying life, constantly having to clock into the office. So I'm willing to put in the work now and to build something I care about and I enjoy rather than working for someone else. So that's how I defined my why.
Awesome. Hey, Courtney, you mentioned, you know, when Angel came up to you and started telling you about this idea, you said it sounded unreal, or it sounds unreal in plural. And it brought me to a quote where it says, if your dreams don't scare you, then your dreams aren't big enough. And so obviously a lot of people are small-minded. They have tunnel vision. They want to get up in the morning. They go to their job. They start a family. They retire. They hope to retire, and then they die. I heard Les Brown say it many times that most people, you know, die at the age of 21, but they don't get buried until they're 65. I think that when we start to focus on financial literacy, and it's really killing the black families, the Latino family, because we're not creating opportunities for our people. And I think Angel hit it on the head when she talked about equal access for financial freedom. You know, why does this boy have to be suffering because of his location when, you know, financial literacy can be taught, really don't cost much. I think the why and for some, you know, philanthropists who are out there and really investing money and time into developing this. But I want you to start off with this, Courtney, and kind of share with the audience the importance and how critical it is for each and every person to understand financial literacy. Like, why is it so important? Because the fact of the matter is that many of us are going to, if we continue to, you know, stay away from our dreams, if we continue to stay away from our purpose, and we just go to work just to get a paycheck, and like, you know, Angel said, she said, I saw that there wasn't no increase in how much money I brought to them and what they were paying out. And so why is it important for us as a minority to understand how important it is to have financial literacy and just kind of open up that discussion, because I think it's very important.
Okay. Well, financial literacy is very important. We use money every day. That's just the type of society and the world that we live in. So until that changes, this is something we need to learn how to manage. You know, especially in America, we have our credit score. So any big purchases that we buy, the homes that we live in, the cars that we drive, is all circled around a credit score and how well you're able to manage your money. It's basically a report card for are you a good manager of your money? And it's kind of just having the freedom. If you are knowledgeable about the money that you make, and how to spend it, how to invest it wisely, you can live a more enjoyable life. And based on that, anyone would want that. You don't necessarily have to be an entrepreneur, start your own business. That's not for everyone to do, and that's not everyone's purpose in life, which is fine. But if we can all manage what we have, that will be good, especially for minorities, because minorities have some of the largest buying power in America, in the world. And we have to better manage our money versus just giving it away and spending it. We need to learn how to reinvest it back in our communities, back into our homes, and just using it wisely. And one thing I love about Angel is that she's so passionate. She went ahead and wrote a book about it, you know. So I'll let Angel go ahead and talk about her book and how she was able to trace the black dollar and the history of it.
Yeah, thanks. So the book is called History of the Black Dollar, and we basically take people on an economic journey from slavery all the way till present day. And throughout the book, we highlight the different periods that you might be familiar with, like the Great Migration or Black Wall Street, but we tell the untold story of how it actually contributed to American economics. For instance, I'll share with you my favorite story that's actually been growing a lot of attention, the chapter called King Cotton, where we discuss how in 1754 there were only 250,000 blacks in America, and slavery was starting to come to an end because of the Revolutionary War. However, Eli Whitney then invented the cotton gin, and as a result of that invention, blacks then increased to 4 million over the next year or so. And so America was able to become the most capitalistic society in the world because of slavery and cotton. They were able to leverage the cheapest, highest quality cotton off of free slave labor. And there have been different economists that have actually calculated the value of this. And just with labor alone, not even taking into consideration deaths and mentality and broken up families and all of that, just labor alone, it would equate to roughly $6 trillion. So when you consider that, the argument for reparations becomes a little bit more real. You know, actually, before I wrote the book, I wasn't a proponent of reparations. But after writing the book, I like want to do a march for reparations. You know, even with Black Wall Street, when they shut down the Black Wall Street and burned that to the ground, there was money involved in the black community. They shut down Freeman's Bank. There was money owed to the black community. So time and time again, whenever blacks have been able to accrue wealth, something has happened to destroy that wealth, and we've never been repaid for it each and every time. Not to mention the hardships that we have and just even knowing how to read to further our education to even make the little bit of money that we did. And so that's why it was really important for me. We also highlight civil rights leaders as well as up-and-coming black tech stars. And we basically want to have it as a conversation between baby boomers and millennials to better understand each other and to know that financial empowerment is the next sort of civil rights movement that we really need to be focused on.
Wow. So, Angel, I have my copy. I'm going to have to get another copy, Angel, because I want mine personally signed to me. And so I'll be in D.C. soon, so I need my copy personal signed to me. But, Angel, tell everybody where we can find that book. I will post it. We'll post it on our Facebook, and I'll post it on our Instagram as well. But, Angel, where can we get a copy of your book from?
Yeah, so it's available on paperback and Kindle on Amazon.com. Feel free to go ahead and buy that. Share it. Buy one for your mama, your daddy, and your friends. And, you know, really encourage your even church and community to have conversations around it, because I find it interesting. I find it so interesting how much information people don't know. Even me, I learned so much as I was writing the book. So I think if we could get everyone from all different backgrounds and races on the same page as to exactly what happened with the economic history of the black community, I believe that the conversation around black America would shift. And so that's one of the main reasons that I wrote it. It's like we're not just a bunch of ignorant people that don't know how to manage our money. No, the money has been stolen from us time and time again. It's a reason we distrust banks and want to keep the money under our pillow. So I think that story needs to be told. And right now it is conveniently neglected from the pages of history. And, you know, Winston Churchill said, history will be kind to me, for I intend to write it. And, you know, I'll leave you with also one quote that somebody told me, and hopefully I don't butcher it. But they said that the lion will always be the victorious one in the story until the prey learns to write. And so we have been the prey. We now know how to write. So we need to use that power.
Powerful, powerful. Hey, guys, I know we're about to close out the show. Courtney, just real quick, Courtney also is an entrepreneur as well, and she has she has a pretty book, pretty interesting book as well. She's also a published author as well. So, Courtney, give you a couple of minutes. Tell us about your business, and then tell us about your book, and then we're going to play this little game right quick, and then, you know, Angel, I know Angel has another agenda, someone on her agenda to get to, so we're going to close out the show. So, Courtney, real quick, tell us about your book, where we can find your book, and then tell us about your business.
Oh, sure. Well, I am a vegan, as many of my friends know. Some people don't. And it kind of happened unexpectedly because it's like, what is this Southern girl from Atlanta, Georgia doing turning vegan? So the name of my book is Unexpectedly Vegan. And it's not just about being vegan. It's more so about different fun and healthy alternatives for people who have issues like if you're lactose intolerant, can't do dairy, have high blood pressure, diabetes, things like that. There's little remedies in there, just how to eat for your health and how to eat, you know, healthy when going out. So the book gives tips on that and how to manage that. So that can be found on Amazon as well. I do also own a real estate investment company. What I mostly do with that is I buy houses for people who are interested in selling houses quick, fast, and in a hurry, who can't go through the traditional means of using a realtor. And I just buy the houses cash. I'm usually able to close on the house within a week to 2 weeks, and I help people out in that type of way.
Cool, cool. Angel, what's your Instagram?
Yeah, so my Instagram is Angel Rich 27. I'm on Twitter at Wealthylifers and on Facebook as Angel Rich.
Cool, cool. Courtney, what's your IG? And I know both of y'all are on LinkedIn as well. Courtney, what's your IG?
My IG is Cookie Yvette, and that is Cookie, Coukee. I spell it that way because it's the first three letters of my first and last name, and my friends call me Cookie. That's my nickname. So Cookie Yvette, and Yvette's my middle name, Yvette.
Cool, cool. All right, guys, we're going to close out the show. So real quick, I'm going to give you a word, and Angel, we're going to start with you, and you only give me one-word answers. Okay, so you only can respond with one word, and it has to be quick. The first word that comes to your head. All right. Angel, you go first. Are you ready, Angel?
Yes, I'm ready.
All right, here we go. Vacation.
Miami.
Favorite meal.
Chitlins.
Oh, my God. Favorite movie.
He said fast, Angel.
Yeah, we wait.
You said favorite
movie.
I said Troy. Y'all can't hear me?
Oh, Troy. Okay, Troy. Now we hear you. Now we hear you. Even though we think you just did that for extra time.
No, I really did say Troy.
All right, Courtney, your turn. Here we go. Hero.
I don't know. If I say it fast, it's going to be wrong. Okay, MLK, go.
All right. Favorite book?
Shoot, I don't know.
Man.
I'm bad at this game, Prince.
I'm about to say, I think y'all might need to stick to accounting and all those numbers. I'm
Right.
used to categories. All right, I'm going to give you an easy one. Favorite team?
Oh, Falcons.
All right, cool. Hey, ladies, we appreciate you being on the show. I'm just grateful and humble, man. This has by far been a great experience and probably one of our top shows that we've done this season. Hey, Lo, close us out. And just, again, ladies, thank you. Angel, Cookie, thank you so much. We enjoyed it. And you guys have a great week.
Yeah, appreciate it, ladies. Yeah, thank you so much.
Glad y'all had it.
Yeah, it was awesome having you on, so we definitely appreciate it. I just wanted to touch up on some of the things to our listeners. You know, when you're following your dreams and you're going after your purpose, your divine purpose, you know, as you can hear from these ladies, it comes from God. God will give you a vision. So if you're living outside of that vision, you're obviously not living your purpose. So kind of, you know, if you have to meditate, pray, do whatever it is that you have to do so you can identify your purpose and then create a plan so you can execute that and make your dream turn into a reality. It's your boy Lo. It's Coach. Hey, we appreciate these ladies and sharing their success stories, and we are out. God bless everyone.